How's it going, guys? My name is Michael Cly. I'm the host of the Strong Style podcast. I'm here with Chase Archangelo. He was a three-time state champion for wrestling in Delaware, four-time state placer, also a two-time high school All-American. Right now, a 4-0 amateur fighter, and he is fighting for a title on December 16th. So, Chase, how's it going?
Man, just been doing pretty good, man. Just got done one of my practices this morning. So got everything, got some food, and here I am.
What'd you guys do today?
So we did with my trainer, we did shoulders and upper body today. Just a lot of reps. Nothing too crazy on weight, just lots of reps and different types of variations of exercises through my shoulders and stuff that I'm gonna need in a few weeks.
Cool. What'd you have post workout? What was your meal?
I had an acai bowl from Town Hall.
Yeah.
Shout out
there.
Yeah, shout out Town Hall.
My favorite place.
But I've never had bad food there.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing, we had a conversation last time, and today want to talk about more of like what it takes to be a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from, a high level, high school wrestler, and then you were a Division I athlete too. From wrestler to now, 4-0 amateur fighter. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that evolution like from being a wrestler and then transitioning into a full-time mixed martial artist?
Yeah. So my coach, Marcus Marinelli, he actually really just kind of saw me as just a wrestler at the beginning, and when I started fighting, I didn't really understand. I mean, I know the sport, but I didn't really understand the absolute grind of it, because it's a different grind than wrestling, because wrestling is a very different sport from fighting. It's a combat sport, but it's a different approach to it. Not a lot of people can get hit in the face, and in the beginning, I didn't really like getting hit in the face. I was worried about what was happening after instead of what's happening now. And Marcus really just got that, gave me that drive to accept that we're going to get hit in the sport, accept the worst, and being able to embrace it and being able to overcome that situation, and not letting your ego take over. Because in the beginning, I did have a big wrestling ego, saying that I could take anyone down. But, then when I started training with guys that know some wrestling, and they also know how to throw kicks and punches, I had to alter my style and alter my mental capacity, my mentality of being better, and saying, hey, like, this is something that's brand new to me. I got to pretty much restart footwork, because wrestling's pretty much backwards. And, I just took time to invest in myself and being able to just motivate myself to restart pretty much.
Was that the first time you got punched in the face is when you came to Strong Style, or did you ever get no fight before?
No. So I've actually never been in a confrontation. I mean, I had fights with my brother when I was a kid, but I never had a confrontation until I started fighting here. I didn't get punched till I got to Strong Style.
What was it like the first time getting punched in the face?
I didn't like it. I used to get scared when I get hit. And it so happened to have been one of my best friends now, Alexa Chalmore. He was the first one to ever punch me in the face. And then Jesse Murray right after that, and then multiple professionals. Marcus didn't really waste any time on me. He wanted me to, kick that wrestling ego out, and, saying that, hey, there's guys out there that can still kick my ass. So, but learning how to get hit with the face, it wasn't the best feeling, but then being able to have that drive of saying, I don't like this feeling. I don't like losing. I'm a very competitive dude. I grew up in a very competitive house. I mean, my dad was Division I, and my brother played college football, and he wrestled when me and him were young, and he was the bigger brother. So,
have you always been ultra highly competitive? That's always been kind of in your nature.
Yeah, I mean, our dad actually really. I mean, he was a very he grew up in a very tough life. He grew up in the 20 minutes out of Philadelphia, Claymont area, Claymont, Delaware. It's not a very, back then it was not a very, it was very a poor area. And, he grinded his whole life. He didn't really have a father figure as much. He, found his way. He dug his way out, and he was able to wrestle in college at the highest level, and he made a great living. He was actually a county police officer for about 23 years, and he always raised us as being competitive and getting. Not everything is given. You got to earn every single thing. And my brother and I, we always had that competitive edge, just being able to not trying to impress them, but being able to impress ourselves and being more independent and being able to know that not everyone can just give you things. You got to go out there and take it on your own.
Yeah. So obviously your dad was very influential with that. And he's doing you show me videos. He was doing Iron Man and stuff like that now. It's insane.
My dad, he did an Ironman at Lake Placid last year. He was 52 years old, and he was always a super athlete. When I used to watch him wrestle when I was about 4 years old, when I just started wrestling, my dad was going into college tournaments, Division I college tournaments, and he was beating guys, guys that are at the Division I level. He was beating guys, and he was in his 30s, probably his late 20s, early 30s, and he was beating guys that are in a prime shape, Division I college prime shape. And if you're a Division I wrestler, you're in the best shape of your life. And my dad wrestled in the police Olympics for a bit. He went to the police Olympics. I think it was before I was born. It's when my brother was alive. My dad was getting ready for the police Olympics, and he took third in the world in the police Olympics. So that was pretty cool. And I've always looked up to him, and had that motivation to try to be just like him or be better, and he gave me that motivation to do that.
Sounds like a good man.
Yeah.
How do you go from, not knowing a person, to, because when you're wrestling at a high level, you kind of know everybody at that point, pretty much.
No,
you've wrestled with yeah. But when you, at this level, a lot of guys kind of come out of nowhere too. So there's a lot of, you don't know a lot about them. So how do you go from not knowing somebody to wanting to smash their face in?
I mean, it's the sport. They know what they signed up for. I have the same mentality with wrestling, because I was the number one guy in high school. I was the number one guy everyone was coming after, and now that I'm in a sport that I'm not that kind of guy yet, I'm going up the ladder. And back in high school, I didn't really have to go up a ladder. I, was always top guy in the state, and I've had a couple adversity here and there, but now that I'm on the bottom, not bottom of the barrel now, but I was in the beginning, and knowing that this is a new challenge for me to step up and being able to just drop every single guy I can. And my goal and Marcus's goal and everybody that on my team's goal is to make it to the highest level in fighting. And obviously it's the UFC or any professional organization that pays well, obviously. And I always just think that the guy that I'm fighting is standing in my way of that. And whether if he beats me, then that's another step I have to take back. But if I just run through him, he's just another head I have to collect.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And obviously there's a lot of people that you have that are very, high level fighters, and just on all different levels. And you which is kind of cool. You got to work with Stipe training in his last camp for John Jones. Unfortunately, that fell through. But what was that experience like? What'd you learn from training with him as much as you did?
When I first got asked to jump in and train with Stipe, it was an absolute honor to be in the same presence with that kind of person. I mean, that guy's beaten a lot of dangerous dudes, and he's won a lot of fights. He's won multiple world titles, and being able to wrestle with a guy like that. And he's a Cleveland State guy. He wrestled there for a few years, and and being a Cleveland State alumni, it's pretty cool to being able to roll with the most dangerous man in the world. And also giving my experience to him as well with wrestling and stuff like that. And I watched different mentality in fighting a lot, and Stipe has, if not the strongest mentality to have, and he doesn't care what anyone thinks. He goes out there and he executes, and we go out there and in the gym every day, and we get to work, and it's we have fun and games when we're talking before warm-ups and stuff, but then when it's time to clock in, it's time to clock in. And I really like the fact that Marcus was able to allow me to step in there and roll with these kind of guys, you know, because I know I can, you know, hang with these guys. I can bang with these dudes, you know. But being able to go into a training camp like that, especially the man he was fighting, you know, Jones, of course, but like, was an absolute honor because then I could just feel like it gained my confidence up, you know, because I was actually getting ready for a fight back in June when I first started training with Stipe, and it just really just boosted my confidence, saying that this guy does not train with the most dangerous man in the world. I've trained with the most dangerous people in the world, and the guys that we have on our team, they're the most scariest dudes that I've met, you know, especially Stipe.
And I think that's important too, is to, you know, he seems like he's very like unfazed by a lot of stuff, what people say. He seems like he's very like mentally strong. And I think that, you know, you said that's something that you really learned from him, right?
Yeah, I mean, because he just, you know, and a lot of people like to count out the underdog, you know, and they're thinking that he's the underdog. And in my opinion, Jones was the underdog because he's never fought a guy like Stipe, you know, and he always taught me like, and we had like a close moment. He was just saying that he just doesn't care what anyone. It's just noise. But guess what? The only thing I can do is go out there and kill this guy and go out there and beat him. And I was just like, that to me just kind of felt like back when I was wrestling and I was like the top dude again. I'm like, that's what it's like to be on top. Like,
yeah. Eliminate those distractions, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just noise. And, you know, most of these people that criticize, they've never been in a fight in their life. They just like to be on their damn phones and, you know, troll people and stuff like that. And to me, I just let that stuff roll off. And, you know, I learned that a lot from him, you know, and being able to use that into my training as well, you know, as a motivator, you know, as well.
What was the biggest thing that surprised you about him? Obviously, you know, that he has a lot of skills, you know, very decorated as a, you know, professional fighter. What was the one thing that you think that separated him from anybody else you've trained with?
Going through things when you don't have to. Like he, you know, we were just, you know, some stuff like, like, you know, if like we like when we're rolling or something, like he like maybe like rolls a finger or something stupid, right? And he decided, let's keep going, you know, like just not taking breaks. You know, he likes to train, you know. I really think he wants the best out of you, you know, and if I just keep trying, you know, he respects it a lot. And, you know, I just want to keep learning from him and stuff like that. And, you know, I really think that the trait that I really like to have him, he's super friendly. He has an on and off switch. You know, he's not a guy that like shoves people off or anything like that. Like there's some people that, you know, that watch him train and stuff. And, you know, we still all make jokes and stuff while we're training and stuff like that. You know, we make it fun for us, you know, because training is fun in our opinion. And I think that he has a different side. Like it's not always had to be so serious, you know? And, you know, I kind of took that in consideration a lot because, you know, sometimes I used to walk in there, tunnel vision, blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't want to overthink everything, right? He just allowed me to, you know, I just watch him and I watch his body language. I watch how the chemistry between him and Marcus and Bobby and all the other coaching staff. And I kind of want to imitate that, you know, because clearly whatever he does, it worked, you know. He won 6 world titles. He defended his title 6 times, you know. So
I wonder if he got that mindset because Marcus has a very similar way of looking at things.
Yeah.
It's like almost, it's your job, it's your duty, you have to do it.
Mhm.
And I remember a few times when Marcus had surgeries, like he's had shoulder and back surgeries and stuff. And I've seen him like where he's
dude,
like,
man.
And I remember there was one time we're sitting in the office and he came in and he was just in so much pain. And and I remember somebody at the gym was like, hey, why don't you just take tonight off? He's like, I gotta, you know, hold pads for Stipe. And he's like, we're doing kickboxing. Why don't you take the night off?
No.
It's my fucking job. I'm not fucking taking the night off. And he gets up, he flips that switch. He goes out there and he holds pads. And it was like the hardest pad session I've ever seen. What a great mindset to have. And I feel like I've adapted some of those traits as well too.
Absolutely.
So it's contagious,
and
you know?
Being around Marcus is like, because my first fight representing strong style, like Marcus scared the shit out of me. He like, not like fearing why, but like I'm just like, that's just a different dude. Like, I mean, like in today's society, if he was like my age and if I just took his brain and put it in my body, I'd be a 5-6 time world champ. That's how scary he is. And when I first trained here and my first training camp, when I was doing like mitts with him, he was like throwing. He had his like the body, the body shot pad on, and he like was saying, "Punch me in the head," and I was like, "What?" And I'm a 22-year-old kid, I mean, I just got out of college. I mean, I'm a pretty strong dude, and he's like, "Hit me." I'm like, boom! I tag him in the forehead, and like and he gets real. You just know how passionate he is about this damn sport, and that's what I love about it, and that's why that's why I love coming here every day. Like I go to the gym every day, and I look forward to seeing him and like what he's got in store, and having that drive and like being able to have that FU mentality, like that's how he shaped me as a man too. Like, because I don't have any family out here. I mean, all my family's back in Delaware, all on the East Coast, and to me, like this gym is my, they really took me as a family. Like you guys, were always been so good to me, and I'm here every day, and I'm like, how can I not get better every day? And he's just saying he just loves to have that push to me, and like I love learning, and I'm a very, very good coachable kind of guy, and I'm really confident enough to say that too.
And part of this too is kind of like what it takes to be a fighter.
Yeah,
is that there's obviously a level of sacrifice because when you're in Delaware, you come to Cleveland State because you want to wrestle there, but you got to leave your family. A lot of people do that, but then it's you stay here and you continue training when you got your family, your friends back home and stuff. So I think that there's a level of sacrifice that you guys have to do. Everyone has their own story, but that's just part of yours. And it's very difficult to be away from your family and train and get, sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, but you're getting the shit kicked out of you. You're kicking the shit out of other people, and you're doing this, hundreds of miles away from your family. And I mean, it's difficult.
It's
a lot of people don't understand that.
It is tough. It's just I miss holidays sometimes. I miss Thanksgiving this year because I just told them, like, listen, like, this is what I want to do. And they understood. They're like, go win that damn belt. And, and like, they understand the assignment, what I want to do. And they know my dream and my goal is. And, they're all going to come out here for the fight. They know I'm ready, and, I'll head home for Christmas, obviously. But like, I've missed Christmases, when I was wrestling in college because of the pandemic and stuff, and, I made sacrifice. I've missed Thanksgiving dinners. I've missed Christmas dinners, a lot of hungry nights, and going for 11 p.m. runs, like in the freezing cold. I like going my polar runs. I like going outside in the freezing cold where everybody likes to stay home, stay near the fireplace, and, watch Sunday Night Football while I'm out there working, and I like getting that mental edge on people, and my family, my dad kind of told me that too. He's always just texts me at like 9:30. He's like, hey, do something while your opponent's sleeping. And then I just like, while I'm like sitting on my couch, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go put my shit on and go run. And then when I do it, when I'm done, I'm just like, damn, that felt freaking good.
Yeah. You never regret those training sessions.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, so now you got like, so you got a title fight on December 16th. There's obviously a lot of in the boxing program as well. I think there's a total of 12 strong style fighters that are fighting between MMA and boxing that night. I believe somewhere around that. It's fucking insane.
12 of our athletes are
the last time we went
night.
The last time that happened, we went 9-0.
9-0.
That's insane. You're fighting in this title fight, and after this fight, right? It's obviously a really big fight. What happens next from you?
I mean, the thing is, like, my instant thought is to turn professional, and but I trusted Marcus and Alex and Bobby. I know their plan for me, and if they say they give me the nod to go pro, then that's what I'm gonna do. But after this fight, and we're gonna talk and see what our plan is. Maybe get one more amateur boxing match. Get my hands pretty clean, get even more sharpened up, and I believe in their system, and I'm fully invested in it, and they've been doing it a lot longer than me, so I'm gonna, I trust my coaching staff, like, regardless, like, no matter what. And I really think that once we, after this fight, we'll have a big discussion about it and see what I want to do, and then we'll go from there.
Are you training like from your last fight to this fight? Are you doing like, what's one thing that you're doing different with this one, or one thing that you sacrificed going into this really big fight in your career so far? What's that one thing that you're either giving up or doing?
I'm lifting a lot more now too. I've been training with one of my buddies. He's my nutritionist as well. I've been doing a lot of strength training as well because I know I'm a pretty undersized 170, and they think I can go 55. And I've done my exams and stuff. I can't go 55, and I've been using a lot of my motivation just to be a strong 170 pound fighter. And I sacrificed, one of my jobs that I used to make decent money out of, but this is what's going to pay my bills one day. And, I'm going to have to set one job aside so that way that way my dream can become reality, and money just comes and goes. I can get money somewhere else. And, I sacrificed that job, but at the end of the day, it's absolutely worth it, and I couldn't be any happier about it. And be able to do my strength training and doing a lot of strength and conditioning with the coaches and everything like that is pretty damn cool.
So right now, what's your, I would say, like, you said, obviously you want to make it like the highest level.
Mm.
What would you say is your biggest goal overall?
The priority. So, I mean, my dream is to become the next welterweight UFC world champ of the world. And I know, like, it's a lot of people like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to go to the NFL, blah, 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 right? And, in my reality, it's the UFC. And it's the biggest, stage, and I've been at the highest stage in wrestling. I wasn't satisfied the way I wanted in wrestling. I was never able to make it to nationals. I was always a spectator, and that kind of gave me a chip on my shoulder saying that, well, I just found something new that I can do, and I'm pretty damn good at it. And why not go after it? And I got the best damn room in my opinion, in the country. I got the best coaching staff in the country, and I've got the best fighter in the world in my gym. So I know it is possible that the way they do their system does work, and I will be, and that is my goal, is to become a UFC world champ.
Now, obviously that's a good goal. It's a great goal. And I think that getting into this, especially with how hard you've been training, that should be your goal. Because you have a decorated background in wrestling. You've been competing your entire life. If I'm a 21-year-old kid that's never done any of that before, and, I mean, do I have a chance of doing that as well? Does it make it more difficult for me? Am I starting too late? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, if the thing is that if you're able to be coachable, like if it's whether you're coachable or not, and you're able to learn and you're asking the right questions, and you're not, it's either you either are or you aren't or you're not, and being able to have that being coachable, being able to make sacrifices, and you're able to just being able to be a sponge and soak up a lot of knowledge, it can happen. There's multiple guys that are in the UFC now that, with no background at all. I mean, they just started fighting. They just have that willpower, and if you have those, characteristics of just being the guy like that, just having a really strong mentality, saying that I want to better myself and I want to be unstoppable, and I won't let anything go by me. I'm going to run through everything that they've put in front of me. Then absolutely, like it can happen, it may take a little longer, but I mean, if you put the amount of hours in, like the way I do, the sky's the limit. I never thought I'd be able to throw punches like the way I do now. 2 years ago, I didn't throw one punch my first fight, on my feet. And now I'm knocking guys out on my feet. I'm doing boxing matches and I'm winning them against guys that have been boxing their whole life. Like I've never thought I would be in a boxing match ever. And I fought a guy that's had 20 plus fights in boxing, and I outboxed him in his own sport, and it can happen. I mean, I started 2 years ago, not knowing how to throw a punch, and now, I'm knocking guys out and I'm putting people on their rear ends, and it's absolutely, like, I look back on it now, I'm like, I've came a long damn way, and it's all because I believe in my coaches, and I love learning and listening.
Yeah, I think that what you said is really important, is about being coachable. And
Yeah.
you talked about the labels. There's, I've been there for 8 years, and I've seen a lot of people throughout the years that will come in and train for a month, and then they'll, I don't know, put on their
Fade.
Facebook or Instagram profile that they're a fighter at our gym or something.
Yeah.
And it's tough because I think it's something that you really have to earn.
Yeah.
You know, that label, it's like, I think once you have your first fight, you could probably earn that or something at least. But
if you make the walk, you're a fighter now. Like whether you have one fight and you take a year off, you're still a fighter. Like you made the walk that, you know, a lot of people would not want to do. Like people would just like, I'm glad I'm sitting in the stands, you know. It's hard to make that walk. Like my first walk was scary. I mean, a guy was a scary dude. You know, I looked around. My mom's on the cage side. You know, her little boy's going out there fighting a man. You know, guy was 10 years older or 15 years older than me. You know, anything could have happened. It's composed of three things. It's terrifying, nerve-wracking, but like the biggest thing that takes over out of those two is the excitement. And like, of course, like anyone that says they're not scared or they're not nerds, they're not real fighters. Like, I mean, once you're at the high level, like, oh, I don't show no fear. Like, yeah, that's just for promotional stuff. Like, there is absolute nerve-wracking terror, fear. Like, I mean, we put our life on the line. Like, our lives are put on the line every time we step in there. Like, anything can happen in there. Like, you get kicked in the chest the wrong way, you know, you can just drop. You get hit in the head the wrong way, you know, you may have something that doctors didn't see, you know, or when they examined you, and then you may not be able to get back up again. You know, like I put my life on the line every time, but at the same time, it's super exciting. Like, yeah, I don't want to be in there sometime, but then when I'm like in there, it's just like, I don't know what else it is, like, but it's just, it brings out something out of me, and that's what Marcus and Bobby and all the other trainers put in me, was that just that grit and that FU mentality and being able to just run through everybody and absolutely
and it takes all that training and all that sacrifice that you did to earn kind of like that title and that label, you know, and kind of like talking about the aspiring fighter, somebody that wants to get started.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I often see that jumping the gun a little bit too much, and just they come in and say, hey, I'm here to sign up. You know, I'm going to be your next UFC champion out of here. And I'm like, they didn't even do their first training session yet, you know? And it's like,
it's hard to watch sometimes.
You know, like, and it's, you don't want to discourage somebody, but it's like, man, you got to really earn the right to even speak those words, you know? It's very important that you at least come to your first class. And I'll see people, you know, they'll come in one or two classes and they'll be all gung ho about it. And then, you know, I'm going to be the next champion. And then you don't see him again, you know, for 2 or 3 years. And, you know, how life got in the way and this and that or whatever. It's just, you know, excuses start pouring out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we got, again, December 16th is the title fight. Are people still able to purchase tickets on there, correct?
Yeah. So
how do they purchase tickets?
So the ticket link is on my Instagram. It's CArch170. The Canton Civic Center, they don't have paper tickets because it's just their venue, and like apparently their system's a lot better or something like that. It is all over my social media. I post it every day. If you don't have my Instagram, it is CArch170. It's CARCH, and then just my weight class, 170. But it's could be the biggest venue. I mean, a couple of our veterans fought there a few times at the Canton Civic Center. Jessica I fought there. Cody Stevenson fought there. Cody Garbrandt himself also fought there, you know, back when he was at Strong Style. And I think it's pretty damn cool that 6 of us are going out there. And I'm the only amateur, so I'm going to be the first one out to fight. And, you know, I just can't wait to be able to create that spark for our boys and go out there and get the job done.
Yep. Hell yeah, man. Well, best of luck on December 16th. Hopefully you come back with the belt, and anything that you'd like to add.
I mean, just being able to be in this environment, being at this gym. If you aren't satisfied with things you've done in your life and you don't have anywhere to go and you feel like you're just lost, like, come try something new. Like, this gym it changed my life a lot. And, you know, I never thought I would be able to be where I am today if it weren't for this gym. And, you know, if you want to have something, if you want to make a new challenge in your life and build your confidence and being able to wake up every day and being excited of what you do, come to this damn gym. You won't be disappointed. I promise you guys that.
Awesome, man. Well, way to wrap it up. We look forward to you going 5-0 and coming back with the belt on December 16th, man.
We'll bring it home,
guys.
baby. We'll bring it home.
All right, brother.
All right, baby.
Good working with you.
Let's do it.